Hey guys, let me show you my new, to me, guitar that I'm going to mod in the next few videos. It's a Harley Benton JA-25th anniversary jazzmaster style guitar with a nice roasted maple neck, which you can see now. It's got a nice flame to it. It's got stainless steel frets and a bunch of other cool features, but let's hear how it sounds first. Some nice cleanish sounds on the neck pickup. And some distorted tones on the bridge pickup. So it already looks and sounds pretty killer, but I've got a bunch of parts to take it to the next level, or maybe just in a new direction. So follow me for the next few videos where I show you the process of modding this guitar and what I learned along the way. Also, if you're wondering, the riffs in this video are from a song that I'm currently working on, so watch this space if you want to hear more. See ya!
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Right, so this is the overall plan, and the first step is to add the copper shielding to the body and new pickguard using this copper tape that I got. So why am I adding this copper shielding to the guitar? Well, it's obviously to get better metal tones. Not really. Actually, it's because the wiring inside the guitar acts as a sort of antenna that can pick up a lot of interferences from computers, lights, or other electronics. So what we're trying to do is to create a mini Faraday cage that will pick up all of these interferences and send them to ground to avoid them going into the guitar signal. So this is a finished pickguard, and I've wired it up to my multimeter here to test the continuity, so you can see that anywhere we touch on this board it is beeping. That means that it is conductive, which is what you want. And one tip when working with this copper tape is to wear gloves if you can, because otherwise you get all these like tiny cuts, because it does get quite sharp. I've already run into some issues where, even though I've custom ordered this black pickguard and sent in the original one as a model, it didn't fit quite right, so I had to shave off a bit here. I didn't do it quite right, I think, but it fits now. And I've also noticed that the white color in the middle ply of this black pickguard is a bit of a different color than the original one. I wanted it to be more of a cream color, but I think that hopefully that will be okay. And I've now finished shielding the guitar cavity, and I've wired it up to the multimeter again to check the continuity. I've done it like this so I can do it with one hand, but essentially, again, you want to go and test the various points on the guitar and make sure that there is continuity. And the last step in this process is to make sure that all of this shielding and the one on the pickguard is interconnected, and it's also wired up to the ground of the guitar, which is this black wire here that is connected to the bridge, this metal bridge part, and then this bridge will have the strings laying on it, so therefore all the metal parts of this guitar will be interconnected. So to do this, I've taped down this white wire here with this copper tape, and I've tied it up with this black wire, and these two we're gonna solder to the pickguard, and then everything will be connected up. So thank you for watching. I'll link all the materials used in my TikTok bio, and I'll see you in the next one. Before we look at wiring the new pickguard, let's look at what was originally on the guitar, and we can see it had these Roswell JMN80IV Alnico 5 vintage pickups, both on the bridge and on the neck, and we've got them laid out here. They're just wired to this three-way switch here, and they're using 500k ohm potentiometers for both volume and tone, and there's also a capacitor here for the tone knob, and just a normal output switch. It's not clear to me though whether these are meant to be single coils or more like P90s. If you know, leave a comment please. And this is what I'm replacing them with. I've got everything off AliExpress. So for pickups, I've got this set of Alnico 5 double coil humbucker pickups. You can see more deals here. They had pretty good reviews. The resistance according to the ad was meant to be between 7 and 8K for neck and 14 to 15 for bridge, and I've measured them and they were pretty much spot on, but the real test will be to see how they sound. For the rest of the parts you can see everything here, but I'll also put some links to everything in my TikTok bio. And here they are in real life. I'm excited to see how these push pots perform because I think they're a better fit for this style of knob, and I have gone with the same values as the original ones. And I'm going to use these to coil split these pickups. And again, I'm doing this as an experiment to see if I like the look and sound of the guitar with humbucker pickups before I go spend more money on parts than I did on the guitar. That's why I used AliExpress for parts. So thanks for watching this parts overview. Links to everything will be in bio, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, welcome back. So the next step is to actually mount these pickups to the scratch plate and all the rest of the electronics here to make it more easy to solder. Mounting the pickup is usually quite a simple process. You just have to use these screws. You put in the screw, you put in the little spring at the back here, and then you would just screw them into this. But unfortunately, due to the fact that there's not enough space in these cavities here for the long screws, as you can see they're quite long, I think we're going to need to drill some holes in here for the screws to go into. As far as I know, there is an option to just mount the pickups directly onto the body, and that is an option. However, I think that if you do mount these directly onto the body, you lose the option to adjust the height of the pickup. But I'm also not sure if that will be possible with my way of doing things. So what I'm going to try is to put the screws through the pickguard, through the pickup holes here, and then through the body as well, and hopefully that should work. Please let me know if there is a better way to do this. And I do happen to have just the right drill bit for the size of these screws, which is perfect. So what I've done is, with the pickguard on and screwed on as well, I've tried to mark the locations where the screws should go here, and I will drill one of the holes first, and then for the second one I will try to mark the position again using the actual screw holes of the pickup itself to get an accurate position. Also, since my guitar already had some holes for the old pickups, I've tried to measure the depth of these holes and then mark that on my drill bit with a piece of tape so that I don't go past that depth when drilling the new holes. That's quite a useful tip there. So now that the pickups are on, I was mounting the rest of the components on here until I noticed that these volume and tone pots have a different size stem than the holes in my pickguard, so these don't fit. But thankfully I've got this attachment for my drill to make these holes larger, so that's good. So we've made space in the guitar body to fit these pickup screws, we've put everything on the pickguard. Now the fun starts and we can wire everything together. But before that, check my TikTok bio for all the links to the parts I've been using, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you do these steps before you do any sort of modding on your guitar. I just modded my guitar and I wish I had followed these steps. Jokes. Welcome back to the series. Before we start wiring the pickguard, I was just going to show you this cool website where you can find all sorts of wiring diagrams. So just look up Seymour Duncan wiring library. You put in your pickup type that you're looking for, and then you've got like a whole bunch of wiring diagrams. And here's the one that I'm going to follow, with 2 humbuckers and 2 push switches used for coil splits for neck and bridge, and a 3-way toggle. Also, before starting, it's worth looking up the color codes of the pickup wires because they differ based on the brand, but for these AliExpress pickup they seem to match the Seymour Duncan colors. Right, so I thought I'd spend just a moment explaining how this coil splitting works. So if we start by looking at these 2 red and white cables right here. So these cables basically connect the 2 coils of the pickup together. So coil A and coil B are connected in series. Now if we want to split these coils, we need to send one of them to ground. And the way we do this is using this DP/DT switch that we've got right here. So that's a double pull, double throw switch. And it sounds very complicated, but all it is basically like 2 light switches connected up together that work at the same exact time. So when the switch is off, these 2 pins are connected. And when the switch is on, these 2 pins are connected. Right, so effectively when we press this toggle, we're gonna send one of our coils to ground. as you can see on the diagram. Now, in theory, we could use just one of these switches to coil split both pickups at the same time by moving the wiring from the bottom one to the top one on the right side, but I wanted the option to coil split both pickups individually. And let's go! Finally some soldering action. So this whole process took me about 1.5 to 2 hours to do, and I started with the hot signal, so the signal coming from the pickups, wired them to the three-way switch, and then to the volume pot, and then to the tone and output as well. In terms of order, I started with all the wires at the bottom, so left the coil splitting to the end. So now I'm doing the ground wires and adding the capacitor to the tone pot. There were quite a few ground wires because everything needs to be interconnected. And now towards the end, I'm wiring the DP/DT switches for the coil split, again making sure to ground everything properly. And this is where I finally plugged it in and did a few tests, and this is right about where I realized that I had reversed 2 of the wires for the output switch, so then I fixed that. And after again I tested all the pots, the pickups in all positions and the coil splitting, and it was all working. And this is a close-up of the wiring, but I don't know how much you can see from this. And before wrapping this up, there was only one more wire to solder, if you remember this white and black wire coming from the bridge and the shielding, and then one quick pass with a multimeter to check that all the grounding is interconnected. And again, thank you so much for watching this slightly longer one with all the wiring. This was my favorite one so far. And as usual, all the links to the resources and parts used will be on my website, which you can find in my bio. And I'll see you in the next one. And welcome back. Today we are installing the bridge and tremolo system and then doing a full setup of the guitar. The bridge is super easy to install. You just screw in the new posts and then put the bridge on. Now, if you don't know about this Duesenberg-less trem, it's a pretty cool tremolo system that you can install on your guitar without having to drill any holes at all. You just screw it in on top of your old stop tail. Now it's time for some much needed TLC for this fretboard, which was very dry, as you'll be able to see the difference in color after applying this lemon oil. I was waiting to do this ever since I got a guitar, so I'm really happy to finally be able to do this. Here I'm using the graphite pencil that I got to lubricate the nut slots. This is good on any guitar, but even more so since we have a tremolo system. And these are the strings I'm going to use. This guitar came with locking tuners, which is going to make this job a whole lot easier. Here I'm going to be measuring the neck relief for the curvature of the neck by putting the capo on the first fret and using these feeler gauges, while also fretting the low E string where the neck meets the body. Then I'm going to be measuring the action or string height by using this precise ruler. And now the pickup height by fretting the last fret and measuring from the top of the pickup pole to the bottom of the strings. Finally, I'm going to check the intonation by plucking the open strings and checking that the note on the 12th fret matches the open string, and adjusting the bridge saddles if they don't. And we're done. I'll see you in the next one for sound tests. And now we're going to do the final reveal of the guitar in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and what a journey it's been. We've laughed, we've cried, we've loved. But now we get to see the results of our hard work. If you're just joining us now and you're curious how we got here, click on my profile and go see the full process of modding this guitar. And without further ado, now we're gonna do the final reveal of the guitar in 3, 2, 1. Okay, but for real this time. 3, 2, 1. So for a quick recap, this was the guitar in its original shape with the stock pickups, and we've added these two humbucker pickups with these push-push pots for coil splitting, the tremolo system, and a roller bridge. And now let's hear how it sounds. And I hope that's now stuck in your head as well. But let's do some A/B tests with the original guitar configuration. So let me know what you think about that. I've tried my best to match the recording so you can get a good idea of the differences. Now let's hear some sounds for the coil split tones as well. And that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and let me know what you've thought about the project and if you want more demos in the comments. The links to all the parts I've used are on my website, which you can find in my bio, and I'll let you enjoy some more beautiful shots of the guitar. See you in the next one. POV, you've just modded your guitar, you've put it all back together, you realize you've messed something up, so you take the strings off, unscrew all of these screws, you fix the issue, you put it all back, and then you find another problem and realize you have to start all over again. If you want to avoid these issues, hear me out because I'm going to share some tips with what I've learned after modding this guitar. Right, so one of the biggest things I learned in my modding process was that you cannot mount the pickup to the body and to the pickguard at the same time, and that is because if your pickup screws go into your body and they screw into the body as well, then whenever you tighten the screw wanting to increase the height of the pickup, what actually ends up happening is you're just pulling the pickup closer to the body and therefore kind of pulling the pickguard towards the body and bending it. So you definitely don't want to do that. And actually that's one of the reasons why I had to take my guitar apart and I had to drill bigger holes into the body so that the pickup screws were just sitting in those cavities rather than actually screwing into the holes. The second reason why I had to take my guitar apart after putting it together was that after putting the shielding onto the guitar body and then putting the pickguard with the wired electronics back on, I didn't notice that because there wasn't much space in the cavity in the guitar, some of the contacts on the electronics, specifically on the output switch, were touching the shielding, effectively grounding the guitar signal when I move the cable in certain positions. So what I had to do, and I'll attach some photos here, I had to basically put some electrical tape on the inside of the guitar over the shielding to avoid these contacts touching the shielding and therefore grounding the signal. It took me a while to find out what exactly was happening, but thankfully it was a simple fix, and next time I'll know to check that before I actually screw all the screws back. Another thing that might be worth knowing is you might need some screws or washers of different sizes that you can use on your electronics. As you can see, my toggle switch here is quite a bit out of the body, and if I had some washers, I could have put them under the pickguard and then this would have only went out like a tiny bit. So yeah, next time if I were to do this, I would probably buy some for this purpose. Although I was initially quite excited about these push-push pots, I don't think they're very high quality. And one thing that kind of annoys me about them is whenever you set them to the max, see there's a bit of wiggle room there and it kind of goes back a bit. And I don't like that, and I think higher quality pots don't actually do this. So next time, I think I would invest in higher quality pots. Another thing I kind of struggled with, and this is something I always struggle with, is the setup of the guitar. So setting the neck relief, action, intonation, all of these things. I'm always so tempted to just pay someone to do it, but I always also think that if I do that, I'll never learn how to properly do it. So that was a pretty frustrating process for me, and still I don't think I've gotten it quite right. I think the action is a bit high. It plays okay and there's no buzzing, and I'm happy with that for now, but it's definitely something that I need to spend more time on, or actually finally get someone to do it. Another tip is whenever you get these custom pick guards, be ready to shave some plastic off, because I don't think they can ever fit exactly right. And I had to shave some of the plastic here, as you might be able to see. And a tip when doing that is to just do it a bit at a time and then keep rechecking it, because you don't want to overcommit. I think I did that a bit here, and I could have probably done a better job. And there's other bits around here that you can't quite tell, but I know about them, so they annoy me a tiny bit, but I think it looks good overall, so it's fine. And now we get into some more random things. And the thing about this less strem system is I do find that I tend to hit it with my picking hand a bit. It might be because I'm not used to it yet and it is a bit bulky here, but that's what I found so far. Also, in terms of tuning stability, I find that it gets out of tune quite quickly. This might be due to some other reasons on my guitar. I think some possible issues would be maybe the nut or these string trees here that I can look into, but I still need to play with it a bit to know what is going on. And lastly, make sure you record to a metronome. For some unknown reason, I didn't do it when recording the demos with the guitar in its original configuration, and I couldn't redo it later because I had taken everything off the guitar. So I was stuck with that initial demo, and then when recording the second demo of the upgraded guitar, it sounded choppy when switching between the A and B because version A wasn't recorded to a metronome. So I've definitely learned something from that. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope it was useful to you. If this is the first video you've seen of me, go to my TikTok page and check the other videos in the series of modding this guitar, because you might find them interesting. And one final plug to my website, which you can find in my TikTok bio. If you click on it there, you get taken to this notepad document and you can find all the parts used in the mods here, and you can also listen to my music. And while you're listening, why not play some Minesweeper? So yeah, have a browse around the website and check what other cool things you may find. And have a look at it on desktop if you can, because it's closer to a nostalgic Windows XP experience that way. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.